Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about 20 of my favorite places that I've been. And they're not ranked in any particular order, so everywhere I've been has been awesome. Some of these are just photos and video from my phone, and I hope you enjoy it. Got a little dark out there. I wanted to shoot the video from the Jeep, but got a little dark out there. But anyway, on to the first one. Colorado, the whole state. I gave it its own section in this video because anywhere in Colorado is a great place to visit. The whole state's different. The landscape changes all over. You get a little bit of everything. You get some desert, you get a lot of mountain. If you're into the cannabis thing, the 420, then Colorado is definitely for you because it's legal. And there's stores everywhere where you can buy it. That's not really my thing. Not my thing. I gotta go ahead and tell you. The camping, oh, it's great. Colorado has its own smell. It's great waking up in the morning, looking outside of your tent at some of the mountain views. The mountain views, the view from the windshield. There's a few ghost towns in Colorado you can visit. I actually went up to St. Elmo Ghost Town. Beautiful mountain lakes. If you're a photographer, it'll be hard for you to put your camera down. Around every turn, there's a beautiful view that you're amazed by. Abundance of hot springs. I actually took my truck into Yankee Boy Basin, and this is the entrance to Imogene Pass, Yankee Boy Basin, and a couple other of the famous passes and off-road trails. Off-roading, back roads, back country. So you have Denver. Me and my friend Sam and Tommy, we went to a Denver Broncos game and had a great time. We went to a Rockies baseball game. The best thing I can advise is go to Colorado yourself and see it. All right, number 2 of one of my favorite places to visit, Nemo Train Tunnel in Morgan County, Tennessee. And I've actually been here numerous times, so many times. It's not far from where I live, and I love to go up there and go through the tunnel. Unfortunately, due to an accident, the tunnel is closed because it was on Norfolk Southern Railroad property, and they have closed the tunnel. They used to not mind people driving through it, but since the folks were irresponsible, now nobody can go through it. You know, it's a fun little area to test out your 4-wheel drive, and nothing too technical. One of my favorite places to go just for a little day out. Now this part coming up, the clearing that you're looking at, a man pulled his truck for some reason up onto the track, which is an active track, and he got knocked down into the water below. But there's a trail on the side of the tunnel that's fun. There's a trail that you can go back to a railroad bridge. You know, there's still plenty to do besides go through the tunnel. But the railroad has their own police department, and you're considered trespassing on their property. And they will prosecute. They don't play around. It's still a fun place to visit. Maybe on your way to Big South Fork, which is also in this video, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. I visited there in the wintertime when there was ice. There was some ice coming off the bluffs and a little bit of ice on the trail, so that made it quite interesting. Oh, and I also have to mention in this video, I'm celebrating a milestone for the channel. We've reached over 100,000 views, which I know that don't seem like much compared, but for a small channel, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So thank you very much for getting me to 100,000 views. And all right, on to the next place. Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. Cliff dwellings to explore, a lot of hiking. I took one of the longer hikes. Beautiful views. You're hiking actually on a ledge for part of it. Some of it's a little bit scary. You know, one slip and you're over the edge. Some petroglyphs, which indicate that UFOs have landed here. Mesa Verde is an interesting place, and I definitely recommend it if you go to Colorado. It's in the southwestern corner of Colorado, and I think you'd like it. All right, number 4 on the list. Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. I was actually working in Pennsylvania when I took this trip, and this is probably one of the first solo trips I ever took, which basically got me hooked on solo travel. You go to the Kinzua Skywalk, which is this old railroad bridge that has been destroyed by a tornado. A lot of historical structures there. Pennsylvania has a lot of mountains. They're not tall mountains, but they have a lot of mountains. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much backcountry is in Pennsylvania. I did cross over onto the New York, across the New York state line, drove a couple of miles into New York. So I've been to New York. We can mark that off the list, and I don't need to go back. It's a photographer's dream. A lot of forest roads to explore. But the second night I stayed in a cabin at the KOA. Sometimes you gotta stay in a cabin. You know, you can't just camp all the time. And Pennsylvania is cool. There's a lot of history up there. A lot of good food in Pennsylvania too. Definitely recommend a trip to Pennsylvania. Number 5. Wings Over America Air and Space Museum in Denver, Colorado. And this place was so cool. Some of the Star Wars full-size replicas. It was cool to see those in real life. But if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, that's definitely a must-see. I'm sure if you got kids, they'd love it. And some of these planes are so big, you wonder how they even get them in the air, and some of them are so small, you wonder how they get them in the air. And if you're into aeronautics and airplanes and things like that, you gotta go. Number 6 on the list, one of my favorite places to go, and I've made a lot of videos from here, and that's Cherokee National Forest in Tennessee. It also crosses over into North Carolina, a little bit of Georgia. Some great hiking. Some great views. There's several waterfalls. There's one you can drive to, Bald River Falls, which I have some video footage of here. Cherokee is definitely one of my favorites. I love going to Cherokee, and there's so much to explore. I hadn't even scratched the surface of that place. A lot of forest roads to drive around on, and you find a lot of cool stuff, and you can get away from the crowd. You get on those forest roads and you get on back in there. They're a little bit rough. Some of them you gotta have 4-wheel drive. In the summer, the place is like a jungle. It's a rainforest, basically. Yeah, I found a lot of cool places, and the views you can see for miles. And definitely get your off-road fix there. Creeks are a good place to put your feet in the water, sit on a rock. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'll put some links in the description to some of these full-length videos of some of these places, but not to mention the camping is great there too. You have the National Forest campgrounds are available. Yeah, Cherokee National Forest, definitely on the list. I love going to that place, and I'm sure I'll make plenty more videos from there. Dallas, Texas, and if you watch my video, you can see a ghost. I actually caught a ghost on camera, and you be the judge. Me and my friends Sam and Tommy and Scott, we went to a Cowboys game. Highly recommend going to even if you're not a Cowboys fan, you should go to a Cowboys game. And I actually caught a ghost on camera. You have to visit the JFK assassination site. A lot to see there. I think everybody should see that. I'll move on. Go visit Dallas. Okay, so number 8 on my list. Great Sand Dunes National Park, which brings us right back to Colorado. It's in southern Colorado. Very out of place, let me just put it that way. The sheer size of it is mind-blowing. I'm getting clobbered by the wind right now. I tried to hike to the top of one of the dunes, and it just wore me out. I mean, you get way up into the dunes, and you think, hey, I'm going to walk all the way to the back, but walking in that steep sand, it'll definitely put your legs to the test. Also, you have Medano Pass, Forest Service Road. And it's mostly sand, and you really need 4-wheel drive there, and it's highly recommended that you air down. And I almost got stuck once, and it kind of worried me a little bit. That made me nervous back there. I got stuck. You'll have to, you can count how many times I said sand dunes in that video. It was quite a few, actually, and that was one of my first YouTube videos. The sand dunes, the great sand dunes. There's the sand dunes. Gigantic sand dunes out in the middle of nothing. I made it to the sand dunes. There's the dunes, right there. I made it to the dunes. Good view of the dunes when I wake up in the morning. I'm so tired. I'm so tired from walking up them dunes. Still over here at the sand dunes. All right, number 9 on the list. Let's take it down south to New Orleans, Louisiana, the Big Easy. And we actually, that's another Sam and Tommy and me trip. We went to New Orleans Saints football game. That was the main reason for the trip. We spent a little bit of time on Bourbon Street, which was not good for me. Let's just say that. One of the reasons I don't drink anymore. Not the main reason, but one of it led up to my not drinking anymore. There's a little shot of me high railing across Lake Pontchartrain in a railroad truck. Since I don't work there anymore, I feel like I'm safe to share that with you. You can't beat the food in New Orleans. I don't think there's a better place for food. I would go back, you know, with the right group of friends. I'd be a little more careful on Bourbon Street next time. Number 10 on my list of favorite places I've been, and I just went ahead and included the whole state of Utah. It's more of a desert landscape. And a lot of times I felt like I was going to see Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner at any moment. That I would see Wile E. Coyote dropping a grand piano from one of these mesas. There's several national parks in the state of Utah. Just like Colorado, the hiking, off-roading. Again, another photographer's dream. Oh, I have so many pictures and so much video. Well, not that much video footage, because I went to Utah before I was making YouTube videos, so I have I have a little bit of video from my phone and quite a few photos, which all aren't on here. Point out some high points of Utah, which are on this list. All right, number 11 on my list, and we're taking it all the way back down south again to Mobile, Alabama. You can visit the USS Alabama battleship. They have a lot of military vehicles, airplanes, tanks. It's awesome. It's a full day. It's maintained privately, so pay the money and do the whole tour, and because that helps them keep the museum open, helps them maintain all the displays and all the vehicles that they have there. So yeah, give them the $12 and take the whole tour. You won't regret it. It's worth the money. Also nearby you have Dauphin Island. I actually spent the day there fishing off the beach. And made friends with the pelican that you can see in this little clip. And again, before I was a famous YouTuber, that's when I took this trip. Number 12 on the list, and this is one of my favorite spots. I can't wait to go back to Rocky Mountain National Park. And on your way to Rocky Mountain National Park, and you can visit the Stanley Hotel, which is the hotel that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. The Shining was not filmed there. It was filmed at a hotel in Oregon, but it was inspired at the Stanley Hotel, which is supposedly haunted, and I believe it. I would say it probably is haunted. And you can actually drive up to a 13,000 foot gift shop. I think that was when I first experienced the altitude sickness. I thought I was getting sick and catching the flu. Come to find out, I had altitude sickness. Actually camped there, and a lot of wildlife. We actually had elk walking into our camp. Rocky Mountain National Park. You should go before you die. All right, let's bring it back to my home state. Big South Fork National Forest in Tennessee. It has everything. It actually has arches. A lot of great hiking. And I love going in the winter because it actually snows up there. Several of my videos on my channel are just exploring the Big South Fork National Park. And there's a lot of forest roads, miles of forest roads you can explore. You can get your off-road fix there. There is some dispersed camping available there, and it also has the National Forest campgrounds. But you can get into a little bit of off-roading there, nothing major. A lot of cool rock formations, a lot of great views. I love the Big South Fork, and if you're in the area, you should spend a day there. Go do a couple of the hikes. There's some cool things to see. All right, from Tennessee all the way back out west to the great state of Nevada, Las Vegas on New Year's Eve. And this particular time I visited Las Vegas with a group of friends, and it was one of the best times I'd ever had in Las Vegas. I actually been there about 5 times. Don't blow all your money gambling. Do activities, do things. I actually got to drive the exotic cars over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And that was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life. The poor guy like me doesn't get many chances to drive a Porsche GT3. Also got to hang out with Randy Couture and Mindy Robinson. Met them through a friend of a friend. Since we were over there hanging out with Randy Couture, they thought I was somebody and they asked to have their picture taken with me. Yeah, so I appreciate them. That actually made my day that they wanted their picture taken with me. And which brings us to number 15 on the list. Escalante Grand Staircase in Utah. There's a couple pictures of my ex Christy in here. Christy, if you're watching, don't sue me because I'm not making any money off any of this stuff. So Devil's Garden is one of the cool things to see. There's slot canyons you can hike. You could actually spend 2 weeks there. So many things to see and a lot of things to do, and it's very secluded. We're almost done. We're getting through here. We're at number 16. Badlands National Park in South Dakota. And Badlands National Park is one of the least visited parks in the national park system. It's very secluded. Plenty of wildlife to observe. Bison, bighorn sheep, coyotes, prairie dogs. And the landscape here is beautiful. Some of these formations look like castles. This is another park. It's really big. I think it's like 26 miles from one end to the other. I actually did camp there. See, I got this whole parking lot to myself. It's all right. It's definitely one of my favorite parks, and I can't wait to go back there and explore it a little bit more. At number 17 on the list, we're going right back west to Wyoming, to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons National Parks. And I'm putting these two together because if you're heading from south to north, when you leave Grand Tetons, you're entering Yellowstone. And Old Faithful is a must-see. Pretty cool. I did eat one of the best steak quesadillas I've ever had at a restaurant in Yellowstone. And I was able to actually get a camp spot in Yellowstone. There's a few places in Yellowstone where you can get off the beaten path, away from the crowds. I did take a few short hikes. I recommend Yellowstone. Just beware of the crowd. We're almost done here, people. We're getting close. Number 18, Bryce Canyon in Utah. And Bryce Canyon is absolutely gorgeous. The clips here I have of Bryce Canyon, these are just a few of the many photos I took of Bryce Canyon. I wasn't making YouTube videos back then, but I'd love to go there and make a YouTube video. I highly recommend you visit Bryce Canyon National Park. And number 19 on the list, Rock Island State Park in the great state of Tennessee. And it's funny because I didn't even realize that we had this state park. Was looking around on my map of Tennessee for state parks to visit, and so I decided to drive to it, and I was not disappointed. It's controlled by TVA. There's some TVA buildings, which is the Tennessee Valley Authority. Again, beautiful views there. Great place to probably do some kayaking, fishing. They have a nice campground, and I will definitely be camping there this winter. So another video coming from there pretty soon. I'll try to make it different from the first one. But there is a huge waterfall that's just coming out of the middle of a bluff, not off the top like most. It's like an underground river. It's one of my favorite spots I'd ever been to. I can't wait to go back. All right, last but not least, number 20, and I put two together on this one because I couldn't do one without the other because they're close to each other. Devil's Tower, which is in Wyoming, and Mount Rushmore, which is over in South Dakota. But they're not that far apart, so if you're visiting Mount Rushmore, you might as well make the couple hours drive over to Devil's Tower. And Devil's Tower is breathtaking. And you can see it far off in the distance when you're driving towards it. But I camped at the KOA nearby and woke up looking at the Devil's Tower, which was super cool. That part of Wyoming and South Dakota, it's beautiful. On your way over to Mount Rushmore, you can stop in Deadwood, South Dakota. So I think Wild Bill Cody was killed there. I think Buffalo Bill spent some time there. And then you make your way up to Mount Rushmore. But it's really cool, and it's a great piece of Americana. I think everybody should see it. I mean, I think that should be on your, if you're taking a big road trip, put Mount Rushmore on your list, and might as well head on over to Devil's Tower while you're at it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my 20 of my favorite places that I've visited. Feel free to leave a comment and correct me if I'm wrong on some of my facts that I like to put on here. Don't be afraid to correct me. I'm not going to get mad at you. So any comment is appreciated. I got more videos coming. I got plans for the weather is cooling off finally, and I have some good plans for some good videos coming up. Hope you don't think I just phoned one in here. I actually haven't had a chance to get out and go camping because of my job. Plus, I just had to buy new tires for my Colorado, which set me back quite a bit, so I'm recouping some money. Thanks for watching. I'll be throwing more stuff up here, try to get this channel going, and I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.